Okay, this is the one shot. We don't need to wait. Let's get into this. Good morning, everyone. It is 5:20 in the morning as we're streaming this one shot. And welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. My name is Eric. I'm happy to have you here. Happy to be able to share some work with you tonight. As always, this is as much of an open forum as it can be, despite me streaming at 5:20 in the morning. But if you're watching now, or if you're watching in the future, you're more than welcome to please leave a comment, leave a question. If there's any thoughts you have, if you think I'm taking the wholly wrong approach, you think I'm taking the right approach. If I help you see something differently, please by all means share that. As much as this can be a dialogue, I want it to be. The reason I do this, and honestly, more the reason I do this tonight, I'm feeling it more strongly than usual, is to connect with people, is to help pull back the curtain on the world of post-production, the world of post-processing of photography, and just to share an artistic process and just to connect with the pictures, it's nature pictures, so with nature and with the world, and to connect with each other in a way. So that's why we do this. Engage, comment, question, challenge, and make things better. That's the way we improve. It's the way we learn. And just we're gonna talk more, but so that's why we do this. Tonight we're doing a single picture from the Crystal Coast of North Carolina. Like if you watched the last stream, it's the same series. This one is a particular favorite of mine. And so we're probably gonna do a color and a black and white version, and we'll discuss what we see in the photo and why the photo is meaningful and why I chose it for tonight. As always, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, the work, anything else, please by all means go to erichackler.com/photography. Link is in the description, and you can consider picking up a print or some postcards or anything else off either my site or my Etsy store. Or if there's a cool spot you want me to photograph, I'm down to do that too. I love the chance to adventure and to share as much of the world as I can through my lens. So with that all said, welcome everyone, and let's jump in real quick. So here's the photo we're gonna do. This is obviously a close-up or a wide-angle shot where we've got some sky, we've got a horizon, which is waves, and then we've got a wave that came right up to our lens. In hindsight, knowing where this shoot was going and knowing what was going to happen to my camera at the end of the shoot, probably should have seen some of this coming when I was taking photos like this, but this photo is phenomenal to me, and we're going to do this in color first, because the color really struck me here. I'm going to start off by straightening our horizon and cleaning it up a little bit. And the thing I love about this photo is, among just I love the composition of it, I love the framing, I love everything about it, to be sure. But one of the things I really love about it is I love just you really can see everything connecting. It all draws your eye to the horizon. You've got the beautiful, and I don't see this captured as often as I really would love to. I'm gonna zoom out a little more. Let's go 33%. Is there's that moment when the water rushes in where it is totally clear. That's it's not beset by foam at the moment. It's got this beautiful clarity to it, and I love that. I really do, and I haven't seen that captured. I haven't captured it very often, so we're going to focus on that. But first thing I need to do is I need to clean up a couple of spots here. So we're going to start by cleaning up that spot, which I believe is sand on the lens, and then this guy is a bit of a longer streak, so we're going to clean that up like that. There we go. These are on clone. These should be on that. There we go. That's better. And you as well, though you cloned pretty well. Let's let you be the healing brush. I think that'll do the job. Cool. So we'll close, we'll pull back. That looks great. Okay, cool. So now we're set to start really working on it. I don't really want to crop anything. This one is pretty much, our horizon line is right across the center. This is a really a composition I'm really, really happy with. So let's just, I mean, I guess I could theoretically crop that up to there and just let the bubbles, actually that is better. All right, we're gonna do that. I don't think I could lose some sky. Nah, I think if I lose the sky, I lose the scope, and the scope of this photo is important. I also want to come back with a little bit more here. Gotta give, this is an important element here. You could argue this little patch of bubbles is my subject, so I want to make sure it has breathing room. But I gotta split the difference. Something like that. There we go. It's the artistic process. We connect, we make mistakes. That's the way life is, guys. I'm feeling kind of philosophical tonight, and feeling like an increased need to connect with the world and to share kindness and love as much as I can. So, yeah, tonight you're gonna get a little more of a calm and accepting mood for me. Not that I ever try to present an unaccepting mood, because it's just, life is better when you're accepting. It's easier to be accepting. Like, kindness is such a simple thing to do, and it means so much. All right, as I up the texture, there's a few more spots on the sensor we got to clean up here. Not many though. This is actually, it makes me pretty happy. Okay, let's pull back out. Yeah, I think that's pretty good for now. Spots where I would worry about seeing those down in the blues, and I think we're good. Yeah, all right, excellent. Okay, so that's just texture and clarity. With dehaze, I think dehazing the sky might be a thing I want to do. I really like the I might end up doing a third version of this. I really like the desaturated version, or not desaturated, but like lower contrast version. There's another spot. Always missing these guys. Tiny one there. Boom. This could be, do it that way. Excellent. Close. There we go. Cleaned up very nice. All right. Let's see, highlights. That's the sky. I'm gonna bring the highlights down a little bit because I want to keep that texture, and we kind of get this beautiful sort of. Oh, I feel like there's all the water, even though it is kind of scattered. I think it does sort of push us kind of to the same point there, the same way the sky does. I might try to enhance that a little bit. Shadows can come up a bit because I definitely want this to be bright. Whites can stay right where they are. I might even want to brighten them. If I brighten them up, I'm going to lose some detail in the sky a little bit, but not much. To brighten them up a little bit. And then blacks, usually, let's bring the blacks down a little bit. Not that much, just a bit. Cool. Nice and simple. Vibrance up. That's one way to do it. Saturation up. Saturation up is better in this case. I don't want to overdo the blues. And then I'm going to come down here to my color sliders, and I'm going to pull the yellows back a bit. Because I like that gentle touch of the sand. I like that, give it that golden touch, but I don't want it to be overpowering. So something like that looks really good. Out of curiosity, what color is that registering? Is that registering as green? Because it should. Green, maybe some aqua? Yeah, ooh, we got some aqua in this photo. Freaking finally. You've been on the channel long enough, you know I live for aquas. A little bit of color fringing there that I want to avoid. Let's come down to our lens correction real quick. Chromatic aberration, obviously. Lens correction cleans up that vignette a bit. Doesn't do anything for the distortion, which I think is interesting. Tiny bit of distortion fixing, but I'm not worried about that. Vignetting, I want a little bit of. Oh, you're really not giving me a middle ground. You're giving me. Let's come down a bit, something like that. Yeah, splitting the difference. That looks good. Okay, cool. Let's come back up here to our main edit. Got a little bit of a noise reduction thing that needs to happen, so we're going to turn that up a little bit. There we go. All right. I'm going to put the texture back because I want to do that individually. I'm going to bring the clarity up because I think the clarity coming up on everything is a good idea. Got a nice line of the water in there. Ooh, that's the thing, dude. Let's come down to our luminance sliders and let's brighten the greens. There we go. Let's make that greens, maybe the aquas. Bringing the aquas down actually draws attention to that horizon line even better. We're going to do that. Blues, no, blues are going to stay right where they are. This photo was gentle. This photo was very gentle. I'm noticing I'm in a gentle kind of mood, and I'm noticing I'm editing a photo to be more gentle. I think that's interesting. I can bring that up a little bit. Yeah, a little bit up in the oranges. Yeah, just that little bit. And like I said, remember we're talking about making that V? The aquas are kind of doing that for us. I may actually undo some of that and then redo it like in my own way. Reds are not really a thing. I always like to play with the reds in sand stuff because sometimes you get like little speckles of color that pop in there. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. I think there's some purple actually up in the sky, a little bit, and then magenta. Nah, not really. Just a little bit of purple up there in the clouds. I'm happy to have that in there. Could darken it down. That's gonna get some color fringing going on. So let's just keep it where as is and just bring the saturation of it up. That seems good. Okay. Let's mask some stuff, and this one could be very easy. I'm gonna start see what it does with a sky mask. Otherwise, I can just use linear gradients. They'll be perfect for this. That's actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so now I can crank the texture in the sky because I want that. Can dehaze the sky a little. Like I want that detail there. I definitely do, but I don't want to go overboard and I don't want to overdo it. That looks pretty good. How's my line? It's not bad. Don't want to overdo that. Texture back, noise reduction up a little bit. It's pretty good. If I turn the mask off, turn it back on, yeah. Subtle enough, but I like it. How's that? What do we got going on over there? It's a little bit of a rough fringe, but nothing to really worry me. All right, let's come. You know what? I'm actually gonna see if there's anything I can do with that. If I come down here. Yeah, pushing the aquas up is the solution there. So we'll do that, and that gives us some nice something there. I'm also going to bring the blues up a little bit. Nah, I'm going to bring the aquas up a little bit. There we go. That smooths that out. Makes that transition nicer. We don't have quite as much darkness over there. But we still have our sort of V shape with the clouds. That's good. All right. Now, you might think I want to just do an invert of this, but I don't. I want to do a separate linear because otherwise I'm going to get the waves, and I don't want that for what I'm about to do. So linear gradient here. Though I am kind of lying because I am going to do an invert as well for a different purpose. All right, let's get a hold of this guy. Let's get him lined up just right. And you're right on that line. There we go. Come up like that. Let's get him lined up on this line because I want this. This doesn't really need to fade much. Maybe just a tiny bit, just like that. Good. I'm gonna push a little more toward gold. Actually, I don't even know if I need to do that. Like, I think that's gilding the lily a bit. We're gonna leave that as is. A little more clarity, I think, is a good thing on this one because that detail is beautiful. Dehazing, not really. Saturation up, way too much. Absolutely not. Dehaze. No, I mean, as much as I love that high contrast color, I don't want to do too much. I kind of want to keep it and let it be its thing. A little bit of that. That's a bit much. Let's do 5. Yeah, something like that. Looks pretty good. All right. Now I want to do a quick duplicate and invert. So I get the water and this thing. And now I can crank the texture here and get that to come up real nice. That's good. Okay, cool. And just without and with. Great. I get that detail. Get the detail in the sky. It's looking good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's swing back down to our color sliders a bit. Bring those golds up a little bit more. I'll say bring them up brightness wise might be the way to go. Yeah, that's better. And then let's see what's going on with my aquas. Aquas are not the problem. I think it might be the greens actually. I want the greens where they are, so I'm going to do some masking for that just to clean up that little area there. And I've got a really nice way to do that. Yeah, but otherwise, I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with the sky. So what happens if I take the sky and just crank the saturation? I'm just curious. Okay, it gets weird. Let's leave that off. Let's just let it be gentle. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to take this mask, which is right now just our texture mask. We're going to duplicate that mask, which is going to crank out double the texture, but I don't need to worry about that. There we go. Cool, so we've got this mask here. Now I want to subtract with a brush. And I'm going to start by subtracting the stuff down here, because this moment is going to just be... Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn the overlay off, and then I'm going to push this all the way to gold. Nice. And now I can subtract the parts that are overdoing it. There we go. I can kind of let this be a little smoother. That's a bit much. Let's see that overlay now. Let's get rid of that. Let's make sure the water gets its own thing. Excellent. I mostly just want to clean up these little pockets over here that have ended up being sort of the wrong color. And add brush, we're going to go back and forth a little bit here because I want to get that. There we go. Good. My subtract brush. A little more of that. Cool. Hang on, I gotta get rid of that last stroke. There we go. Because I want add brush. There we go. I want this stuff in here. Never follow my own advice of when you start a new brush, do a small stroke first and just click off so that it is able to create that brush. That's what I want it to do. There we go. Do something like that. Let's get this little pocket right here. There we go. Cool. Now we're going to put this down to like 8. Doesn't need to be much. Go full on purple if we want to. But the more I look at this, the less I dislike it. I think it needs a touch. I think it needs like 2. Though even that is, in some ways, doing a little bit of damage. What if we make it a little more blue? What if we go that route? And then, if I see the overlay, go back to my subtract brush. Actually, if I turn the add brush off, what's that going to do? That's too much. Okay. New subtract brush on top of the add, on top of this. I'm just gonna get rid of this section, and then I'm just gonna nice and gently just kind of come to the center there. Once again, kind of guiding our eye to the middle. That's a bit much. Let's bring our, we're gonna drop our density down to, nope, not the flow, the density, down to about 50. And that might actually be the trick. There we go. The overlay off. That's how we do it. Okay. See the overlay. Up all the way. Let's make sure we're not touching the water out here because I definitely don't want to be. That needs to be its own thing. It needs to be allowed to be its own thing. Good, good, good. New mask with brush. I just want this middle section here. Just like that. And this can go up to 5. And we can just make that big. Sort of guide our eye back. Let me drop the density on that and just sort of, nope, don't move it. I can just, yeah, nice and gentle, just do one of those. That will help kind of guide our eye back to that section. I can also take the saturation and crank that up a bit. Don't really need to. Put this to 10 if I really wanted to. Actually helps a little bit. Let me see the overlay. I want to subtract a bit there. This should be all the way up because I want to subtract it and get it off of the sky and off of the waves. Again, they're their own thing. Cool. I think that looks pretty good, guys. I really do. I think that's coming along nicely. I think I want to push that even a little bit more toward gold. Yeah. Something like that. It's a bit much in the middle there. I want a little bit of something. Yeah, what if we do this? I got no idea. Okay, delete that. Let's do this with linear gradients. Let's do it with lines. All right, actually, so step one, delete that. New mask, select the sky, and that'll give me the sky. Actually, you know what? Let's do this all with linear gradients. Add linear, because I do not want the edge of the water. I want just the, there we go. Cool. So we'll do that. We will invert this. So we've got just our front here. We will then subtract the linear gradient. We'll do this like that. There we go. I'll let this kind of fade in. We gotta come in, kind of guiding our eye to that point. Something like that. There you go. We'll do the same thing. We'll subtract with another linear gradient. We'll do the same thing right over here. Subtract with a linear gradient. There we go. There's our second one. Beautiful. Can pull this back because I want this edge to stay the same, and then I can tilt this in. Something kind of like that, sort of working 2D and 3D space. Nice, like that. Cool. And now that spot I can push a little more toward gold, which I'm definitely overdoing. So subtract with a brush. Bring the density down just a bit. And we're going to clean up this. Actually, going to bring this density down a lot. Let's see the overlay. There we go. Let's get it out of this middle section. Now we bring the density down and we clean up the. Oop. That's the weird thing about reducing the density is if you have it at 100% and then you put it back to 50, you are kind of painting stuff in a little bit. There we go. Now that's starting to that's looking good. Okay. I want to bring the saturation down just the tiniest bit. And then I want to take my linear gradients and I want to shuffle them in a bit. Nope. Don't rotate, just want to shuffle them in. I want to give us a bit of a finer point. Let me see the overlay. Good. Gonna bring that out to a bit of a harder edge. I'm kind of basing this off kind of the edge of the clouds there, just something like that. All right, overlay off. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Can go all the way in like that, but that's a bit much. It's coming like about that much. There we go. And then you can adjust the amount of masking. 200%. Let's come down to about 20%. I think 20% is enough. It's a subtle effect. Doesn't take much. So there we go. That's this photo in pretty good shape. Which I'm never gonna stop playing with this little thing because I want to get it. I want to feel like I'm getting it right. All right, I'm gonna come back down to. I'm gonna go off our masks. Come back down to our color sliders for a sec. Bring the yellows down a little bit more, just the tiniest bit. Actually, they can stay where they are. Let's bring the oranges down. Again, there's a gentleness to this photo that I want to maintain. There we go. I like that a lot. And I'm going to bring down the saturation on the aquas and the greens, just so they're not quite as elaborate. Always little adjustments to make just to improve. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy about it. I'm happier this way. I think it guides you out of the horizon just fine. All right, cool. I like that. I really like that. I think that's very pretty in a very gentle way. There's your before and after, which I think looks great. Let's do a black and white version, which is going to be a little more high contrast, because that's my taste. And this one I think will lend itself well to that. So we'll do black and white. There we go. Okay. All our masks are still in place, but now we can have a little fun. Bring the blues down. Greens down as well, because that'll sharpen that horizon line in a really great way. I'll bring that down a little bit. I don't want to lose too much of the detail. If I bring the oranges down, we start losing everything. So let's just keep the oranges up, bring those down a little bit. Purples, they can pretty much stay where they are, and everything else can kind of stay where it is. What are the aquas doing here? All right, we're going to bring the aquas down because it's going to give us a little more detail in that sky. Let's come up with some of our masks. Here's our sky mask, right? That's our sky mask. Cool. I'm going to dehaze a little bit more, give us a little more texture, which is great. A little bit less, actually, not quite that much. A little clarity, maybe? A little bit of clarity. I like that. And let's come down to our sand here, which is, this is meant to be our texture mask, which is good. Bring up the clarity again, give us some detail there, which I think looks phenomenal. I'm actually going to dehaze this a notch, which looks great. Blacks down a bit. Yeah, I think that looks good as well. Could bring the highlights up just to brighten up those patches. I don't know if I want to though. Honestly, I feel like they're maybe a little bit. I feel like they're a strong enough element on their own. I don't want to distract, though. I do like that. As I look at that, I really like it. Shadows down is going to increase the contrast, and it's going to start distracting us from the sand. I don't want to do that too much. I think I'm happy with it as is. Turn this on and off. Yeah, it's got some nice darkness to it. How about this one? I want that one. Nah, I like it off. And this one as well. That's a barely noticeable effect, but let's turn that on actually for this one. Cool. Nice and simple sometimes. When you understand the photo and you understand what the effect is going to be, it's a different kind of thing. This photo looks awesome. I'm really, really, really happy with this. I'm actually going to come back over here to the colored version because I want to mess with it a little bit more. God, that looks so good though. It looks amazing. All right, let's see. Here's my, which one's this? This is the sand. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna bring the clarity highlights up a little bit. Yeah, let's bring the shadows down. That's the thing. Shadows down a bit and highlights up just a bit. I know, high contrast. I'm a sucker for it. I'm trying to be better, but I do really like how that looks. Even a touch of dehazing. Not that much. I'm sorry. No, back to that. Let's set this at 12. Yeah, just that touch. And then I'm going to come down to here. My color sliders, I'm going to brighten up the oranges a bit. And I'm going to push the oranges a little bit toward yellow. So we get that gold back, because I really like that gold. Like full yellow. Just a little bit of that and a little bit of this. There we go. That's looking much better. Yeah, I like it. I really do. I think that I cannot find the right match on the orange here. Can I get that exactly right? Because I want it to pop, but I don't want it to overwhelm. It's got to pop and be part of the photo. All right, so we were just at 32. We went down to 55. Let's go to negative 45. That should be our nice middle ground. I think we found that. That's good. Cool. Yeah, guys, I really like this. I really, really do. I think I chose a good photo for tonight's one shot. So, there we go. So once again, our before and after. Same deal here, which should give us the black and white version. There we go. Again, before and after. Looking phenomenal. I'm going to be exporting these and posting them to my Insta and to my website. So these will be around and available if you're interested in seeing them more clearly, getting a chance to explore them on your own. So yeah, I'm going to go back to just me here. So thank you for joining tonight for this very short little one shot. I mean, very short, half an hour. That's actually not bad. I expect this to go longer. We're going to be coming back to this series of photos a lot. We're also going to be going to, I did a shoot the yesterday, honestly, literally about 24 hours ago, where I got some phenomenal shots of birds over the James River in Richmond. So that'll be very, very cool to see. We get some ospreys, which I haven't really had a chance to photograph before. Great blue herons, which always look good. Got a beaver. That's cool to see. And as well as some little architecture stuff, because yeah, why not? If you have a cityscape there, might as well use it. Got some great shots of the ospreys with the city in the background, and that's exciting me because I'm all about the connections. But yeah, I guess just the main thing I want to leave you with tonight is again, connection. The reason I love this photo is I'm gonna pull it back. I'm gonna finish with this photo up on the screen because I want to talk a little bit about it for just a sec. I love this photo because apart from the fact that it does have this beautiful clear water and it's got the sky just being a wonderful element up there and the clouds kind of coming to that point. Apart from all of that, is that you see the whole ecosystem here. You see there's chaos in the clouds. There's waves here that are kind of chaotic, but it still are, and obviously they're out of focus because our focus point is right here close to the lens. But there's a little bit of chaos back there, and then it comes into this beautiful thing. And it's so true that the way you see the world is dependent in some ways upon you. It doesn't. Henry David Thoreau said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you see; it's how you see it. To some degree. I think I'm paraphrasing, but still, I do believe that really good photos, whether they're of people or not, are self-portraits. They tell you something about the person who took them. And I'm looking at this photo, and I love the interaction between the world and the pieces of it, and all the different elements of the water cycle, and the chaos that up here that begets a different kind of chaos here that eventually comes to still a flow and still something moving and still something chaotic, but chaotic and beautiful. And this is a harsh, beautiful chaos up here, and this is a gentle chaos that's down here and beautiful. And that is just the world moves toward entropy. Everything eventually moves toward chaos, but chaos doesn't always mean pain. And I think if we look for that beauty in the chaotic world we live in, because the world's chaotic. We're all doing our best to sort of make our own little corners of it as peaceful and as ideally as hopeful and as loving as we possibly can. But we're all scared and we're all trying to find our way, and that's okay. And the thing to remember is we're all on that journey, and we're all in different places, and we all have different views on what's chaotic and what's painful and what isn't. But we are still all doing this together and all trying to be good people together. So with that in mind, and with this photo in your eyes, be kind, be loving, create art that embraces a beautiful chaos. And because you look at this photo and this is chaotic and this is a random pattern and this came from consternation up here and chaos here only seconds ago. But you still look at this and you want to put your hand in it. And you want to dip your feet into that water because it looks so inviting. And you want to be part of that. So be that for the people around you. Be that wonderful, safe, beautiful chaos that they can dip their feet into and enjoy and know that they're part of something wonderful. All right. I don't have anything else to say. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me share my art with you. Please, my website if you want to contribute in a monetary way, or even just go and admire some of it and take something from that, like, in your mind, because that's wonderful too, and that's again a reason I share this. Okay. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for being part of this. Be safe, be well, be kind. See you next time.